Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. This is episode 20 of Inside the Numbers. I'm Hunter Aschenbrenner. That's Jake Auerbach. Today there's not much going on in sports, but there's recaps of the NHL and NBA Draft from last week, and we haven't talked baseball in a while, so we're going to get a bit into that today, and yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked baseball since I don't think before the Knicks run,
Yeah,
before the playoffs even started. So it's been
yeah.
a while, and a lot has happened with the Mets recently, and Yankees. We'll get into that also, and then both drafts happened for the Knicks and the Rangers. We'll get into that, and then free agency is starting in the next 48 hours. So we'll touch on that really quickly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the last time we talked baseball was with Brian Hoke. So,
Yeah,
yeah, let's get into it. All right, so first, let's get into the NBA draft from about a week ago now. Yeah, it was last Tuesday. The Knicks, obviously, is what we're going to focus on. A lot happened across the league, but let's get into the Knicks. They sat at 24, 31, and 55 entering the draft, and I'm pretty sure they didn't select at any of those spots. They traded 24 for 5 second-round picks as Leon Rose maneuvers the board. And I mean, you kind of knew straight from there that this is all about money. And it's what the Knicks have done for the last couple of years. And especially now with James Dolan's mandate to stay under the second apron, it was all about the Knicks maneuvering the cap and trying to get as much money as possible.
yeah. They didn't make a selection at all in the first round, and then I think they made two in the second
Yeah,
round.
in the second round, they drafted Jack Cahill, a German point guard. It sounds like he's not going to be a drafting stash. And then they drafted Tyler Nickel, who a forward out of Vanderbilt, big time shooter. So yeah, we'll see what those guys have in store. Pretty excited about Nickel as he's a very very good shooter. So yeah,
Yeah, not really. I don't really know too much about Kyle, but
now I don't know
Tyler
much about
Nickel.
either of them.
Yeah,
It's
but Tyler
just
Nickel,
yeah
watching him in college at
at
Vanderbilt,
Vanderbilt.
he was pretty good all season. He's a pretty big player, um, and he can shoot as well. So that
Oh
adds
yeah.
some good depth to the next bench potentially. I'm not
Yeah, I mean
sure
the
if
Knicks are already deep.
yeah. Um, but I think that's a solid pick. Someone who could just add to that bench. And he could be decent. But it's a second round pick. If he
Yeah,
doesn't
but at the same
perform.
time, I mean Leon Rose and this front office has shown the ability to draft talent in the second round. They got Deuce McBride in the second round. They got Ariel Huckporty was in the second round. Tyler Kolek, Mohamed Diawara, obviously as of late, getting a new contract on great value. So I mean, they've been able to draft in the second rounds pretty well, and I mean, you're hoping one of these guys can now be another piece going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's hard to really predict the performance of second round picks,
Oh yeah.
but
I mean, I don't expect much from them this year. Besides, I mean,
yeah,
Diawara contributed immediately, but he was really an outlier.
yeah. I mean, I think the whole draft two nights were good asset management by Leon Rose in the front
Yeah,
office.
that's what he does.
Trading back, you only moved back a couple spots, and I think they came out of it with like five or six
Oh yeah,
new
future
second round
seconds,
picks for the future. So
and those are gonna be important because as this core gets older and older, and more expensive. I mean, as Brunson's gonna sign his supermax in probably next year or the year after, Towns is gonna be up for a new extension whether he takes a pay cut or not. Josh Hart's gonna be up for a new extension. This core is just gonna get older and more expensive. So you're gonna need these cheap pieces off the bench. And yeah, so I mean they're gonna be important going forward as Leon Rose keeps on scouting and finding good talent.
yeah, I mean, not even for bench pieces, but if you have a really good amount of second round picks, that can be big for a trade.
Oh yeah, they
Um,
traded they traded 2 seconds along with it was Yabu and then Dalen Terry for Alvarado this year, and
yeah,
he's a big reason why they won the championship.
yeah. I mean, without Alvarado, who I mean, it's hard to really say he's the reason they won, but no one's saying that. If without him though,
Without him,
who knows?
It's a
Who
lot
knows if
different.
they
What
would have won?
happens in
You know,
Game 4? I mean,
exactly.
he was huge just overall for this team, and he's
Yeah,
back on a new contract, as we'll talk about.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see going into the future, but I think these second round picks, not even just for selecting players, but they're good trade pieces.
Yeah, and it's all about money. I mean, as James Dolan, it's really annoying me how he has spent endlessly in the past, and now we win a championship, and he's stopping now. But Leon Rose and Brock Aller have to find ways now to try and keep Robinson, as we'll see if that's possible. And then Shamet, they re-signed today. Alvarado is also a free agent. He declined his player option and then re-signed him for about 3 year, $14 million, about the same average value. And Diawara, still don't know the value of it, but it's a great contract overall for both of them. And Shamet, 4 year, $24 million earlier today. So, I mean, that's an awesome deal. He took less to return to the Knicks. We've heard Jordan Clarkson is still a possibility to return. I really like that. And still holding out hope that they can find a way to maneuver stuff and get Mitchell Robinson back. If not, it sounds like Kevin Looney makes a lot of sense in free agency on a vet minimum to come and be the backup five behind Towns.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it seems unlikely that Mitch is a
Yeah.
Knick next year.
He's
we've
just
heard
got
the Lakers are interested.
But there
We've heard
was
the Nets
something.
are
There was
interested.
something that happened today. DeAndre Ayton accepted his player option for $8 million. A Mitchell Robinson for DeAndre Ayton signing trade makes a lot of sense. And I mean, look, I don't really want DeAndre Ayton, but I'd prefer him over Kevon Looney. So hopefully the Knicks maybe do that. But I'm still really hoping they can retain the longest tenured Knick.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, but it's unlikely that he's back. So
Yeah,
I think
and
we
free
just prepare
agency is
for
going to
that.
open a couple hours after this episode releases. So we
Yeah.
hope that that they are able to find a way, but I have all faith in Leon Rose to pivot and do something else if not.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we ignore the sign and trade part of it, I think if he hits the open market, I would say the two teams that I've seen his name around the most are the Nets and the Lakers.
Yeah, I think the Lakers less now because of Ayton, unless it's a trade. But the Nets make a lot of sense. The Kings make a lot of sense.
Well, the
There's
Kings might
just
be getting Jalen Duren now. But
true, yeah. But Scott Perry, the former Knicks GM, is the president over there. So I mean, we'll see. The Nets, I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, although it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
yeah, I mean, I don't expect them. I said this last week. They're not going to make any big trades or signings. I'd be absolutely shocked if
No, it's
they
just
get, like,
veteran
a
minimum here
blockbuster
and there.
move. Yeah, I mean, just fill
Yeah.
out the rest of the bench.
So let's get into the NHL draft. I know you had some feelings on it. The Rangers sat at 5-26 as the night began, and then they made a pretty big trade, and then they had a pretty controversial pick at number 5.
Yeah, I mean, they made a huge trade to start the night, acquiring Pavel Dorofeyev from Vegas. He scored 37 goals last year. He was the leading scorer on the Stanley Cup team. And I absolutely love the trade. They gave up number 26. They gave up, I believe it was this year's third-round pick, somewhere in the 90s. And then they gave up
92, I'm
2028.
pretty sure.
Yeah, it's something like that. And then they gave up a 2028 first-round pick, but it was top 10 protected. So if the pick falls in the top 10, the Rangers keep the pick, and then it's their 2029 first-round pick. Overall, I love the trade. I think Dorofeyev was a guy I mentioned last week when we had Johnny Lazarus on the show, and I think he's a perfect fit with the Rangers. You put him on that power play next to Adam Fox and Gabe Perreault, who can dish out the puck, and I mean he's a one-time threat, and they already have Mika Zibanejad, so you throw them on the opposite dots. I mean that's a scary power play, but
yeah, and he's only 25, right? And
yeah.
So why? I assume it was money related, but why did Vegas want to trade him after?
Yeah, they have no money.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Yeah, I think they only have like $5 or $6 million in cap space right now, and
he
still
signed
have,
for over $11 million.
Yeah, and they still have a couple of big players to re-sign, and you know Vegas is so deep at forward that I mean Dorofeyev was a key player last year. Obviously, was a leading scorer, but they'll be fine without him.
Yeah.
They'll be able to replace him. But
hmm And then
overall, love the trade though. I absolutely love it. Got to give my props to Chris Drury there.
and then you might have to criticize him a bit, as that trade was made, I think, right after Gavin McKenna was picked. So right around as San Jose was on the clock, and then the Rangers were sitting at 5. And they took Albert Smits over Chase Reed, and I know you had some thoughts on that, as well as a lot of Ranger fans.
Yeah, I mean, Chase Reed wasn't even in consideration for the Rangers
Wow.
because he was projected to go somewhere between 2 and 4. There was no world where he was going to make it to the Rangers at 5, which we thought. And all of a sudden, Buffalo shocks the world and takes Daxton Rudolph at number 4, which, I mean, people had him as their 5th-ranked defenseman in the draft, and they took him over guys like Chase Reed, Keaton Verhoff, and Carson Karls. And, I mean, Rudolph's a good player, but that was a shocking pick. And then the Rangers, they have Chase Reed fall right into their laps at number 5, and they stick with Albert Schmitz at number 5. I mean, we've heard throughout the entire process that Schmitz was their guy. But, I mean, if you have a guy like Chase Reed that falls right into your lap, I mean, I think he is the best offensive defenseman in the draft, without a doubt. I think he's overall the best defenseman in the draft, in my opinion. And, I mean, I haven't been huge on Schmitz the entire process. I just don't love his upside. I don't really see him being a top 2 defenseman in the NHL. And I think if you're picking at 5, you don't want to take a player like that.
Yeah, you're shooting for the upside of being the top of the league.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see with those moves if they're hopefully the beginning of, I mean, what Chris Drury is still trying to call the retool. I think.
I mean this trade for Dorofeyev, and I think
exactly.
the Schmitz pick. The Schmitz pick.
Yeah, he's more NHL ready, right?
He was the NHL ready pick. You know, Reed probably needs 2 or 3 years of developing. Schmitz is most likely going to come into the NHL next year. If not, he'll go into the AHL for maybe the first couple months. But I expect him to come right into the NHL, and I think that signifies a retool. And going out and getting a player like Pavel Dorofeyev, that really signifies that Chris Drury's in a retool state of mind.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Drury probably cannot survive a huge teardown rebuild. No. So, I mean, it's probably part him looking at the roster and thinking this is what they need, but also looking out for himself of how can I keep my job for the longest.
Yeah.
And if they fully tore this down, and, I mean, we'll see about the Trocheck trade, we await. I mean, I don't think he would survive a big rebuild.
But I mean, going into Trocheck, who knows if he gets traded now?
Yeah.
I mean, if they go out,
so they're trying. They won't pull the trigger, and thus they can maximize the value.
Yeah, because they're not just going to dump him off. I mean, they've said time and time that they're not desperate to trade him. So yeah. I mean, I think that I just hope that we do trade him, because I don't think that this team is a Dorofeyev away from winning a Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's a great player, but this team last year was so bad that. I mean, Dorofeyev can't be the best player on a Stanley Cup winning team. That's the issue. So, I mean, I just don't think that holding on to Trocheck is the smart move, but we'll see what happens. I don't know what to think of it. The trade. I love the trade, but I just don't know what to think of the direction of the Rangers.
Yeah, and the blueprint
next year. Yeah.
All right, so let's now get into baseball for the first time in over a month and a half. We'll start with the Mets. They're completely irrelevant now. I mean, you felt that it was probably headed this way as we got into the summer. I mean, they kind of like flew under the radar being bad while the Knicks were taking the city by storm. But now it's kind of like, okay, they're very bad. They're 13 under or 14 under 500. They finally pulled the trigger on Carlos Mendoza and put him out of his misery. I don't know why it took so long. I mean, look, when the big thing you look at, they're not the same team, but in the middle of May or at the start of May, the Mets and Phillies had the same record. And they were both talking about firing their manager. The Phillies pulled the trigger. They fire Rob Thompson. Coming up, Don Mattingly, the new manager, and the Phillies have took off ever since. They've been one of the best teams in baseball. And the Mets stuck with Mendoza, and now they're irrelevant and are done for on June 29th. I mean, it's another reason why the Mets are the Mets and how they sit as the joke of the league time and time again.
Yeah, I think it was terrible management. I mean, the Phillies are a perfect example, like you said. I think are they in a playoff spot right now?
Yeah, they're like 3 games out of the Braves.
Jeez.
They're rolling.
I mean, yeah, I've been so locked out of baseball recently just because the Mets are so irrelevant. I mean, obviously the Knicks and everything going on with both drafts. Like, I've just been so locked out because this team sucks and there's nothing to watch in this team.
It's really just Benj and Ewing. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, you're rooting for the young guys and Juan Soto at this point.
Did you see what Eric Chavez said yesterday?
I saw he was talking to someone on the podcast, but I skipped over it because I don't care about baseball this year.
It was pretty damning. I mean, he basically said that the Mets coddle Juan Soto completely and like treat him like he's a prospect and that he's like the golden child. That's pretty much the sum of it. That it's just like they don't treat him like everyone else, and there's not a standard total in the entire locker room. And Juan Soto isn't a leader like at all. So I mean, obviously Chavez got fired from the job. Don't know how much of it is true, but it's still something out there that is damning against the Cohen and Stearns Mets.
I mean, Chavez so much against the Mets.
Which I don't really know why. I mean, he kept his job so much longer than he should have.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he's came out and said so many things about the Mets. You know, I just don't know how much I buy into it, but it's definitely something. They're just such a dysfunctional organization that it would not shock me at all if that's true.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing you're really interested in the rest of the year is the young players, and then what's going to happen by the August 3rd trade deadline. They already started the fire sale, kind of. David Peterson getting shipped to Chicago, which I don't really think that actually signifies the start of it. I think that's just this isn't working anymore. There's no really place to play him and pitch him, so Chicago's desperate for a starter. Come and get him. But we'll see. They have plenty
he let
of
up a home run in his first pitch.
He did, but he only gave up 2 runs on the entire outing.
No, he was solid, but it was just funny. His literal first pitch with the Cubs.
But we'll see. They have a lot of pieces that are interesting to a lot of teams. I mean, obviously Freddie Peralta, if he can pitch better. Bo Bichette, we'll see if that ends up being anything. And then the relievers, Raley, Minter, even Devin Williams, maybe. Luke Weaver is probably the top guy, and then Huascar Brazoban as well. I mean, as a Yankee fan, I would love Luke Weaver back. I love Luke Weaver, and he's been unbelievable this season.
Yeah, I mean, Weaver really started off terrible, but he hasn't allowed a run in like 2 months.
Like 2 months. Yeah.
He's been insanely good. And then,
he's back to pitching like he did down the stretch in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the Yankees a little bit, but it's obviously over a month away still. But
but you're starting to hear the rumblings.
Yeah, and then to get into Carlos Mendoza a little bit, I almost feel bad for him. Everyone knows this is not his fault. You know, I'm not defending him. I don't think he's a good manager. I don't think
he's the fall guy.
Manager though, but everyone knows this is David Stearns. Everyone knows this is his fault. Everyone knows this is his team, and Mendoza really can't do much.
Yeah, they fired all Mendoza's coaches last year. They completely overhauled his roster, and then they expected him to just be able to piece it all together. I mean, Mendoza isn't a great manager, but still, it's not his fault at all.
No, I don't think he's a good manager. but I don't think he's a bad manager either.
Yeah.
I don't think he's bad. But obviously Stearns was never going to get fired mid-season.
Definitely not. I don't think Stearns gets fired at the end of this year either.
Yeah,
It takes a lot to fire a team president. Like,
I know.
he looks over the entire organization with the farm and the roster decisions, everything. I mean, I don't think Stearns is gone after this year. We'll see, obviously, how angry Steve Cohen gets, but that's where I stand here in the end of June.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's too early to say anything, but rest of the season outlook for the Mets, I'm not sure how much more we'll be talking about them.
Nope.
Because they're just so atrocious. You're just rooting for the young guys. You're rooting for Ewing. You're rooting for H.A. Ewing. Sorry, I said Ewing twice. You're rooting for Carson Benj, H.A. Ewing, and Nolan McLean, pretty much.
Yeah, and then you see like Zach Thornton. He was pretty solid. We'll see if like Jonathan comes up again. Yeah, I mean that's about it. If Nick Morabito gets another chance, Ryan Clifford maybe he gets an opportunity. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what the Mets. I think they're just it's over. I mean, pretty much.
I guess for his next 4 to 5 starts with the Mets, I'm kind of rooting for Freddie Peralta to do well, kind of boost his value a little bit.
Show like you can be the pitcher that you were before coming.
Exactly. He's been bad.
But now to move on to the team that still has a season going in town, the Yankees. Up until this past weekend, they were pretty much rolling. I mean, they were staying alive without basically the entire team. And then they had a nightmare season in Boston, like a nightmare series in Boston, like they usually do. They got swept up in Boston against a terrible Red Sox team. And the last game was really frustrating. I mean, the entire series was. They got no hit throughout the first 6 innings in like every single game, and they were no hit until the 8th in the Sunday Night Baseball game. And then Wilyer Abreu makes 2 mistakes. The Yankees get let back in the game. They lead by 2 into the bottom of the 10th. And then Fernando Cruz can't get the job done. So they lose. They get swept in Boston. But looking at the Yankees, I mean, it's really they're not healthy at all. This isn't the team. So it's frustrating to watch right now, but it changes nothing for my outlook on this team come October.
No, I mean, I don't think it's it's June soon, but
yeah, true, but they weren't even bad in June. Besides, I mean, they're 500 right now. They're 500 in June coming into tonight.
Yeah. Look, I don't think it's a reason to be worried.
No,
I don't think it's. I mean, I don't know. I think you're just waiting for guys to come back.
Yeah, they're gonna get Grisham and McMahon back this week. Max Fried is throwing a live BP to Stanton in the next couple of days. Hopefully those guys are back around the All-Star break. And then you just hope Judge back sometime in August. But we know what this team needs at the deadline. They need at least 1, probably 2 relievers. They need Ryan Jeffers. They need Ryan Jeffers. That's just flat out what they need.
I think Ryan Jeffers will be a Yankee.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Austin Wells has been so bad this year. It's crazy. I mean,
yeah.
He was solid. He was really solid in his rookie year, and then spring training he was amazing at the start of last year, and you thought he was going to take off this year and be one of the top bats, and then he was last year, and then this year he's been one of the worst hitters in baseball. So adding Ryan Jeffers into that mix and probably being the starting catcher with Pat Pop from the right side, a balanced lineup that's needed for this team. And then we'll see the relievers they target, hopefully Luke Weaver, Anthony Bender, those types of guys. And then we'll see when Carlos Legrande comes up in the next couple weeks probably.
Yeah, I think Legrande could come up and join the bullpen pretty soon.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but
he's starting to get into a regular mix down in AAA.
Yeah. I mean, we're still a month out. We know the names, but we don't know the teams that are really involved yet. We have no clue if the Yankees have interest in Luke Weaver or a guy like that.
Oh yeah.
We
the only guy we know is Ryan Jeffers. They've made that pretty clear that they're interested in Jeffers.
Yeah, and we'll see if they go after a guy like Tarek Skubal.
That's who I was going to bring up next. I mean, look, you got to see over the next month if Tarek Skubal is pitching like Tarek Skubal after the elbow surgery.
Yeah.
Because if he's not, then it's not worth to give up prospects for like 7 starts of him. But if he is, that's a guy that can propel you to win the World Series. I mean, look, you look at a playoff series against who? You can even throw in the Dodgers. It's pretty much impossible to lose a playoff series when you've got Skubal, Cole, Schlittler, Fried going your first 4 games, and those are probably your starting pitchers. And then you move Warren, Weathers, Rodon, some of those guys to the bullpen, and then you have a good offense. I mean, look, the Dodgers are great. They don't have that rotation.
But, I mean, the Dodgers are another team involved with Skubal.
They do, and that's why I think they need to go even harder for Skubal. Because if the Dodgers get, Skubal, it's over.
It would be, what, Skubal, Yamamoto, Shohei, and...
yeah, like Snell, Glasnow,
Snell,
Sasaki,
Glasnow, yeah.
like you're throwing any of those guys. But, that's why. I would trade anybody but LeGrand, Hay, and Lombard for him. I'm not giving up LeGrand, Hay, or Lombard for Skubal for 7 or 8 starts of him. I can't. Spencer Jones, Will Warren, Ben Hess, take them. I'd be very easy to trade those guys. The guy I still am hesitant on is Jason Dominguez because I really, really believe in the bat. But if Jason Dominguez is the guy that stops the Tarek Skubal trade, I won't be happy. Go improve this team and win a championship.
Yeah, I don't know if the Tigers would do a deal without one of LeGrand, Hay, or Lombard, but I guess if you package up like 5 or 6 other top prospects,
you
do
do Warren, Jones, like Ben Hess, and then you throw in
Kilby.
Maybe, but that's another really highly touted prospect.
Yeah, you have to give up top prospects.
Yeah, I'm just not saying it would take that. But it's a rental. Like
no, but you have to let go of prospects if you're trying to go for a championship.
Yeah, I just don't think it would take that. Will Warren and Spencer Jones as the 2 headliners would probably make a lot of sense.
Will Warren, Spencer Jones. Yeah, but you would need probably 3 or 4 other supplementals, honestly.
Probably, yeah, but not the number 3 prospect in the organization.
Not a guy. Yeah, like a couple.
Like Ben Hess is 5. You throw in Ben Hess
between 5 and 10 in their organization.
Yeah. And that could probably push it across. I'm still skeptical. That's not a Brian Cashman trade to do. But look, if Brian Cashman wants to get Aaron Judge's first ring, go do that.
Yeah. And then I don't know what a potential return for Jeffers would be, but I don't think
it wouldn't be a lot. He's a rental catcher.
Yeah.
So maybe a fringe top 10 prospect, if anything. He's a rental catcher who is on a selling team, and and he hasn't played in 2 months. So that's kind of what. It's not going to be a huge return. It would really just be. Look, the Yankees, they did this over the offseason. They saved their chips for this. Go get a big bullpen arm. Go get like that. Go find a way.
I think Ryan Jeffers would be a slam dunk for them. He is so good. Like, he is one of the most underappreciated players in the league, I think.
And then another guy I'm interested to see if they pursue is Hunter Goodman. He's a right-handed catcher. He's amazing. You go and that's a guy you trade your pieces for. Big-time catcher. He's young. He can be your catcher for multiple years. So, that's a guy I would pursue as well, but I think Jeffers is very likely.
Is Goodman's not heading to free agency, is he?
No. He has like 3 more years after this.
So I don't know why
it would just take a lot. Because they're the Rockies.
I don't think they would.
Yeah, but we will see as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. And that is going to do it for episode 20 of Inside the Numbers. Thank you all for watching, and we will be back.